It's streaming and recording now. Welcome to UAT Game Studios for our Milestone review. We're going to begin with our ACS project. Welcome, Nathaniel. Take it away.
Hi, my name is Nathaniel White, and I am the elected team league of the Republic of ACS. Not that one. Alright, so, unlike a lot of the game productions we have going on here, ACS sort of took an interesting direction this sprint. What we've done is we've completely moved to a new framework that Bailey's written from the ground up. This is in TypeScript, which none of us besides Bailey are familiar with, and we've also taken on the task of making our bot, again, sort of an all-encompassing catch-all bot. So our music system will compete with the best music system bots, our trivia system will compete with the best trivia bot. We'll have a price matching system that can hopefully compete with that one Chrome extension. It's going to be really great. And we're also going to have an RNG system we're not entirely sure which direction we want to take it, but you're going to be able to play a game and sort of use the in-server currency and items that you get there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Let me just start off by showing off the control, not that one, the remote we have. Alright. That's not going to work out that well. Alright, well, new plan. Alright, so as I said before, we have a remote control, so our bot tests our bot. Now these aren't all the commands we worked on this sprint, and by far a lot of our time was spent learning the new framework, emerging over old commands, and really improving the structure and stability of our bot in general. So we're just going to start off with the help command. And we've redone how we did help before. Help used to send a DM. Now we've gone up a level, so we have sort of almost a folder then module system. So we have all the commands labeled. You can easily do help, and I'm going to pick level. And it tells you the command and its arguments. And if you mistype, so if I just said music, it would tell me its usage. And this is a very, very general system. The framework is designed to be easy to add a command so that way anyone can use it and extend upon it. So I'm just going to quickly go through the commands, and then we'll have the stand-ups. Yes, so I kind of just showed that one off, but yes. Clear command. This one we already had, but it's kind of difficult to show off we'll use that one later. Random poems, we still have. A lot of these are still moved from the old framework. I'll just click a couple. Changelog, pay. So the changelog, we've actually moved to and also a different system so we can do code reviews easier. From now on, we're not going to be pushing to the main repository, because bear in mind, our bot is completely live. So when I push to the repository, our server sees that someone's pushed. It'll download it, recompile itself, and restart itself. So in order to sort of maintain the bot so it's always up, we're going to have live versions and then the sort of versions that we work on. So we'll have to submit pull requests to our own repository so we can all review each other's code and guarantee that it works before we push. And what that allows us to do is also update this version. So you see this is version 1.10. It has all the features we've added in as when it was released. Random. Last.fm is going to work great with music. Okay. So Last.fm integrates with people's Last.fm profiles, which you'll be able to add yourself, and you can get what music they listen to, the albums they like. The music bot will hopefully integrate with this and allow you to play songs from your favorite albums or recommended automatically. We have the random. So you can get an adjective or a noun, and it'll respond with a random adjective or noun. This is sort of really fun for a lot of word games that people like to play. Nickname history. Not Bailey. This one, okay, these are the few. We've started moving to a new graphical system, if that makes sense. Instead of it being more text-based, we want to use reactions. So as you can see, you can post reactions, or our bot posts them, and you can click on them as buttons. Now this is sort of a newer thing that not a lot of Discord bots have caught on to, but it improves the user experience by a lot. Yay, one. Snail races are cute. Trivia, work in progress. This is going to be our trivia bot. We can watch the races at the same time. But it's the same sort of thing. It posts it, and you can click on one of the reactions, sort of like a button, and afterwards it'll tell you who was right and who wasn't. This is kind of fun. Doesn't do a ton, but it has like little random events where Devin can get injured or Jordan can get injured, and they'll slow down, and whoever gets to the end wins. So it's a cool little fun thing. I want to add betting on this, but I don't know. Tic-tac-toe is actually completed. It's fully done. So this one is one of the ones that was harder to port over, harder to program, and it's set up the basis for how we're going to do a lobby system. So our games are going to be able to open up a lobby. There will be multiple lobbies. This person can join a lobby and play a game. Here you go. And then we have the quote system. Also, we finished porting this over from the last bot. So when a person says something, you can add a quote. It'll save it to a list. This is server persistent, so it's always stay there. Ha, 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 ha. And then you can quote, and it'll grab a random quote from anyone, or you can grab a random quote or a specific quote from a given person. Alright, now that I've sort of demoed the commands, I want everyone on the team to come up and just give a very short presentation of what they did. So I'll start it off. I'll start it off. This sprint, I mostly worked. Yeah, maybe stand in front of everyone, like facing towards the audience. So that the camera can get you too and see your faces. It's great. All right, face the audience. So this sprint, I worked mostly on porting over the music system, refactoring how it works so it's all clean. That's sort of getting old, so I'm moving to a lot of smaller commands. And ideally, once the FM is done, we'll start integrating them, and we'll see how that goes. All right, we'll start. Just go in order. So, Devin.
Did you show the control panel, by the way?
A control. Okay, before I do that, we also have. This is live. And this is for the bot. It's the control panel that essentially shows us everything that happened, that was done on a given server. It doesn't expose private chats or anything, but it's just a logger, and it tells us whenever we're going over our rate limits, whenever something fails to execute, why it failed to execute. This is invaluable in debugging. All right, so you guys go ahead.
All right, I'm Devin DiGiacomo. I did some of the smaller commands for the bot, like mock. I don't know if you can display that there.
That was last sprint command,
okay.
But it's still pretty
So I did mock, which basically, if you've ever seen the sarcastic SpongeBob meme, with like the alternating case, you can do that to a user, a specified user, and it'll basically mock them. I also did poems, which is just a list of poems, and then it spits one out. I did a few others, like, what else did I do?
Devin is focusing on our price matching system. It's a huge, this is sprint long, if not longer, of we scrape the websites ourselves, we put in all the functions we need to determine how to search a result, how to get a result, how to avoid ads, and then we build a database and compare it. So that's what he's working on. This is also part of his SIP, is it?
Yeah, I'm trying to do it for my SIP too, so.
So it's going to be, yeah.
There's going to be at least like 2 commands to that command. The one that I have working right now is a search item command, so you basically just type in, let's say you're looking for like an iPhone, you can type in iPhone 7, and then it'll spit out the first 3 relevant links to like Amazon, Newegg, and just any website you want really. And then it'll, just give you the links right there so you can click on them. And then the one that I'm going to be working on too is price matching. So that's the big one that I want to get done this sprint. The price matching feature is basically going to be you type in the URL of an item that you want to buy, and it will go ahead and throw that the keywords of that item into a list on other websites, and then also use the price of that item to find a lower price on other websites, and then spit those links back to you. So it'll be pretty helpful to people who want to find items for a lower price on other websites that they don't know about.
Gonna be one of our bigger features. Also, only say what you did this sprint, and let's try to keep it going because I took too long. All right, Bailey?
Yes, hello, I'm Bailey. I did a lot of the, I did the framework, so like all of the usage information, the argument parsing, that's all my framework. The control panel you saw, I made from scratch specifically for the bot, and I'm doing a lot of the cloud integration and like Git linking, so when you push the Git, it syncs to the cloud. So it's all my department. Other than that, I did like the silly little games like spinning the wheel fortune or racing, snow racing. So
If it looks professional, it's probably him.
thanks. That's it.
All right, my name is Rashad, and so what I've contributed towards this sprint is I created 3 commands. One of them has to be with the coin flip. So pretty much once you type in a coin, once you type in our exclamation mark followed with coin flip, it pretty much just randomizes a 50-50 chances of getting the heads and tails. And that's just one of them. I created another command for a tongue twister generator. So it's like a random list of array. It has like plenty of messages inside of it, and then the code pretty much just randomly outputs a message every time you just type a command. Same concept follows with the random joke, and I'll be creating a couple more of these commands later on this sprint, and that's about it.
All right.
Hi, I'm Garrett. I'm responsible for all of the tic-tac-toe stuff that we showed off. And then also I developed another command just this week that we didn't get to show off. It's called RIP, and it basically, you can show it off now. Get out of the way.
Do I have to put at someone?
Yes, you do. How about Jordan?
Too
Or
late.
me? Okay. Yeah, so it basically does that. It shows a skull, an F, and that beautiful tombstone that I found online in 5 seconds.
And this is also a good basis, because now that we have this command, we can have image editing with text, so it sort of lays the groundwork for a lot of future commands we can work on. All right, Ross.
All right, I'm Ross. What I worked on this sprint was our trivia database. So what I'm doing is I'm finding an online database, online trivia database, and I'm using their API to hook in with our bot. And so it's not finished yet. I still have to add in rounds and scores. We showed it here, but still work in progress. So I'm scraping their database and basically just parsing the results. We've also got commands for the difficulty you want. So currently there's an entire bot solely dedicated to trivia, and that's kind of our competitor. That's what I'm going off of to try and be better at. And so I've never done database scraping or any of that before, so this is taking me a little longer than I'm happy with, but I'm still learning a lot, so I'm pretty proud of it.
Setting the bar high, and I think we can accomplish it. All right, thank you, everyone.
ACS2.
They're not going.
Why are we not going?
Because you have to log off to get to your build.
We have a build of
Okay.
people who don't have
Okay, guys.
connections.
Go ahead. Bill.
All right, teams, if we're going to get everybody some face time, we need to make sure that we adhere to the limit of time. So leads think 4 minutes max. Everybody else takes 1 minute max, so it should be really paced very high, lots of energy. This is your rainbow crowd. Green light. So focus here. If you have to look just past, that's okay. So get used to speaking right here in the center to your crowd.
Alright, hello, I'm Trevor Kennard, project lead on the ACS project Athena. So for this sprint, we worked on pretty much completely restructuring how our GUI works. Beforehand, each of our menu items would open up a dialog box. So what we did this sprint was create a whole new tab structure to allow it to open up in the main menu. So, say if I click on train, I can now open up a tab. that gives us the pretty much desired ETAs, a loss output box, and the training button. So if we add in another tab, you can see that we can drag them around to structure them, and you have the different abilities to do, with an ability to exit out. With the background of it, so if I hit train, we have been able to get it to still print out, but it's not linked up to the GUI right now. So it'll take a bit of while to output to the actual terminal box in the back. So it's grabbing a file for its data set to train off of, and then it'll go through each epoch and training through them, giving you an estimated time of the own epochs and the entire training completion altogether. And I'll keep doing that and update it as it determines how long each epoch is going to take. It'll update that completion time so it reflects that time. That's pretty much what we've worked with for this sprint. We'll start with the stand-ups. Want to come up? Alright, so what I worked on for this sprint, I'm Trevor Kennard. I pretty much worked with getting the tab framework set up so that Zach could start merging our dialog boxes into that, and also getting a style sheet to work so that we didn't have to independently change our widgets to work with different types of styles.
Hi, I'm Zach Thompson. I am the front-end developer for this. A lot of what I was working on was getting the front end with the back end connected. We still had some minor errors with that, and it unfortunately wasn't connected this spring. But we also the GUI that I worked on previously was what we worked on was with the dialog boxes and windows that were opening. It looked very much like it was from like 2007. So with that whole rework, that made the GUI much better. That's it.
Hi, I'm Jason Johnson. I'm the primary backend developer. I built the neural networks. So I was unfortunately in the emergency room last week, so that kind of set our production back a little bit. But I implemented multiprocessing that runs the actual neural network at this point. I also implemented multi-threading, which will be doing all our read and write files, and will be doing the updates to the GUI. Additionally, I implemented pandas, which will allow us to create spreadsheets. We have a text file that actually logs all the information as the neural network is updating. It was rather difficult to extract information out of the neural networks while they were running through their training process, so we've had to go through a lot of experimentation trying to get that set up. We will actually start implementing front-end connectivity this week, so we should have that done. I would say my best achievement is I managed to compact 2 deep convolutional neural networks into a single object, so it can be imported into any file just with a simple command, simple one-line variable. So that was my best achievement.
What mostly did this sprint was doing documentation and stuff, so that when the user needs like help for the user manual, for the departure, for the sprint, how all that stuff works, and also testing to make sure that the diagrams and the code kind of more match what we're trying to go for. If we don't, then it doesn't make it that user friendly, makes it kind of like not consistent or whatever.
All right.
Okay, remember you need to project while you're up here. If you have a really quiet voice, you look a little unsure of yourself. So own the stage when you're on it. Donald, you want to be my time holder? All right, pay attention to Donald when you're up here. He's going to visually cue you when your time is almost up.
This means move on to the next person.
Means keep going, Roger. No, I'm playing.
We're pretty quick.
I just want to start off by thanking all the online contributors. You guys make the dream work, you know what I'm saying? Let's get it. The team put in work this time. They got a lot in, you know, really pushed for a lot of stuff. So I'm going to give a brief little rundown of like what was in, and then they're going to talk about what they did and how they did it. So what we really got in on this time was back end, getting the inventory actually working, questing working, as you can see, learn to play, and then when you walk up, it shows the items you've gotten, and then when you talk to them, it gives you a quest, and everybody was complaining about like tutorial things, so it tells you where to go to the docks behind me, and jump on the boat. Then we have, we'll run over here. My bad. We also have currency. So there's that, and when you come over to the shopkeep man, you can come over here and buy objects. I'm just gonna buy it all actually right now. Wait, nope, ignore that. Okay. And then you guys get, well, I guess I'll run to the warrior thing just to show the quest get completed. Also equip the item. That right there is you know, art.
Did you do it?
Yeah. I was, yeah. This is the ease mode weapon. It's to really, you know, lay the fear on your opponent.
Pointy stick.
Yeah, very pointy stick. And also I'll speak for Raylan, Rian, who isn't here. We also rescaled the hub and everything for him. So yeah, just pay no mind to this giant behemoth of a stick right now. Okay, here we go, you know. Good game. Everybody also complains about how long I take in here fighting them, so we tried to speed that up for everybody. Now as you can see, my currency, what the, hold on. Whoa, wrong thing. Currency went up because, you know, I purchased the item. Okay, and yeah. Oh yeah, and I finished the quest. Let me go show that. While I walk over to the quest realm, Michael's going to start with talking with what he did.
Yeah, I'm Michael Stubenrock, lead programmer. I worked on the questing system, implementing it this build, as well as the actual shop.
I'm Nicholas Lamacchia. I'm the lead design for Life or Death. Mostly for this sprint, I've been working on organizing our back end and documentation. However, we did do some mocapping. We got the team up there. Put Steven in the suit and got some animations going. And Rhiannon, who is our online designer, who unfortunately isn't here to present, has been doing amazing work because all of the hub that you see here, aside from, as Jimmy mentioned, some brief scaling issues, was made entirely by them, which was extremely impressive.
My name is Kenny. I'm a designer for Life or Death. I was in charge of making the quests, such as winning against an opponent with a certain weapon, or defending, attacking, any other of that stuff, and as well making the economy, which is the currency that is used in the shop, such as bronze and silver.
Hello, I'm Steve Spenny, art lead, and this sprint I did work on the new armor, the samurai armor, and for that one I used Substance Paint, or ZBrush, and like Maya, and then Substance Painter to texture it out, and I was also in the mocap suit.
I was tasked with working on the different rarities of commas. Worked on the skull comma, as was seen right there. That one's supposed to be the exotic version, so like the most detailed. And then I think the one on the left of that is also the one I did, which is, I think that's the intermediate one. They were all done in Substance and Maya.
Who are you?
Oh, Tyler Harper.
I'm just going to put it the other way.
I'm an artist on Life Death. I've been working on the Japanese weapon, the Tetsubo line. There's 2 currently added. They were added in this build, and I don't know if you want to show them.
I'm going to try. Yeah. Hold on, let me come right back in it. 1 second. Yeah, it's in here. Sorry about that. And I'll go through Tyler's stuff real quick at the end, but hold on, don't go yet. Let me, because you know, I'm sorry, that's my mess up. I didn't realize that was going to happen. I was the one who worked on the inventory, and I obviously did a horrible job. Okay. So this is one of them for, and this is the other one, and then you can go.
Alright. Hi, my name is Naomi Law. I'm the one who worked on the big stick. My job was making the Japanese weapons in the Genta, pretty much a Japanese spear. So I worked on tier 1, 2, and 3. 1 didn't make it in, but this is number 3, and the green one is number 2. So for the most part, I worked in Max, and this brand, I worked mostly on texture and substance painter. And that's about it.
My name's Kayla Warfield. I worked on a lot of the UI work. Previous sprints I worked on the buttons in the books, but for this sprint I specifically worked on the UI that you see there. I'm new to Illustrator, so I had a lot of help, and I'm very grateful for it. And then in the arena, there should be a sand texture that I made that was tileable for the whole base. And then currently working on the grass to cobblestone and dirt, but it wasn't finished in time yet because of the transitioning tiles, so we didn't get to implement it, but those will be.
Okay, thank you for your guys' time. I done goofed.
So, why don't you go stand over here for now? So why don't you go stand over here for now? Hello. There it is. Right in front of my face. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Dakota Stoner. I'm project lead for Kings of Graffiti. So, one of the first main things that we focused on was overhauling the menu, trying to make the UI a lot better, and so players would be able to know more of what they're doing. So when you go in, you'll have the connect screen, and it'll take you over to the start options and quit. We're still working a lot more on the menu, but more will be to come. So next, we have the lobbies where you can create them and find them and all of that. So, alright, so you gotta start it, Wade. Alright, so next we have we've been working on getting multiplayer to work a lot better, syncing up everything, and you can now don't move around, Wade. You can now die. Alright. Kill me, Wade. Yeah. Alright. So, which side are we on? This side. And I can't sprint and jump. Alright, let's try this again.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
And DC. Alright, so one sec.
It just paused.
We're having some DCing issues with the current multiplayer.
Two-player game couldn't handle it. What an amazing jump match.
City. So next we have. There we go. So one of the things we worked on getting in was a new health pack. Really fancy. Getting a bunch of little art and all of that. Working on getting the construction level done. Here's one of the things we have is an elevator. Ignore that. Which can take up you to different floors more quickly. And been working on getting the tag mechanic in. Alright, so jetting. It's not gonna start because this is an updated build. Awesome. I have so many different builds currently. Alright, so next we have the city, which we've been doing a lot of overhauling, changing up the appearance. So we decided to turn this more into a night level, so we can use a lot more of the glowing to kind of just show off a lot more of the art style that we're trying to go for. So this is it, and been working on getting in our new characters. They're a lot bigger than the player, so ignore that. but we have the different animation. We have walking, idle dancing, victory, dance, and defeat. Alright, so, and then the last level, I don't know how this is going to work out, so, because these computers don't like this current level.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Delete that 1 million poly sphere.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is the current level, so.
Some optimization maybe required.
Yeah, and then our last level that we're currently working on is the arena level, and here are some pictures. So we'll start off with you. You go ahead and talk about your level. Talk about what you've been working on for this sprint.
My name's Deshaun, game designer for Games Graffitis. I've been working on the arena level, basically white boxing, and basically doing the level design, set design for it. I haven't really put a lot of hours in it because of the fact that I just got over the death of 2 uncles that I lost, and I just got back last week from the funeral. So I'm trying to get back in track to getting everything done. But so far, this is sort of what I've been building based off of arena style types of levels. And
Hey, graffiti team, take it up front, please.
Oh,
Okay.
front?
Yeah, I'm sorry
Oh,
about
yeah,
that.
you're front.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the front.
So.
All of you guys should take 2 steps to the right, because otherwise we're just going to see the back of your head as the camera. The back of your head is the camera. You're talking, you don't need to see.
Yeah,
I'm
so.
Victoria. I'm an
Go ahead.
artist. I did that billboard. That's right there. All the streets, curbs, most of the buildings, lampposts, paint splatter decals, plywood. I did a lot. Just most of it, but.
Hi, I'm Jeremy, a designer. Some of the tags you may have seen in the C level, those are by me. One of them I had to work with our artists to get, but it came out really good, and I'm actually really proud of it. Wish I could say the same for a level I'm also working on, but I couldn't make it to the build on time. So next build, though, you might see it.
I'm Isaiah. I'm a programmer, and this sprint we got the elevator finally working. It took a little while because I hadn't used core routines and enums before, so I got that in. But I'm also working on a turret currently that I wanted to finish today. Hopefully get that in. And so far it's good.
I'm Justine. I am one of the artists. I've been mainly working on the Italy level, which you couldn't see because too many high polys apparently. So.
I'm Chris. I'm a designer on the team. I've been working on the Italy level, and it has a lot of polys on it. It does not like it. So what I've been working on this sprint is a lot more of the white boxing, adding in interior walls to all the buildings. I'm going to be starting to go through and try to remove as many polys as I can, but still keep it looking nice. The level's a little bit on the large side to add background. So the level doesn't just conspicuously end and the world fades off into nothingness. But I need to go through and start trying to trim down all the polys to help the computers load. But that's what I've been working on this sprint.
I'm Wade. I'm the designer for the construction site level. This sprint I've been working on really importing all the art assets and new stuff from Victoria, and also adding some more set design to the level itself. So I don't know how much you ran around, but the paint splatters on the walls, the stuff lying around the corners, and general clutter from a construction site and all that. Putting in an elevator. That's pretty much it.
All right. Thank you.
Well, no, Dakota, you got to talk about what you worked on.
I'm the lead. I have my hands in everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's recording.
All right. Hello, my name is Kylie Atkins. I am the art lead for Gray Area, and this is our milestone review. So for this milestone, our major goals were developing our first-time user experience further, and that we've been mostly doing through Word document, and we have actually changed it into a presentation. We've also been creating more crash site assets to make the crash site feel a little more full, give it more content. And then we also went through and we rearranged a bunch of the crash site assets that we had. Since our terrain was smooth and shaped a bit more, it just made sense to change some of the truck positions to make it easier for gameplay. So we'll go ahead, go into build. All right. Ooh. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. So as you can see, we've added some more particle effects. You can actually see this better when I turn around and look at the saucer, because we have a bunch of flames and fire we've added. So yeah, we've got some cool little particle effects going on. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can see that we have made it to where it looks like the saucer landed in the terrain, so it's kind of furrowed. And then we've also added a lot more debris around where the saucer would have crashed due to the fact that it's quite damaged from its quick landing. So we've added some more barbed wire fences that to kind of just direct the player to where they need to be moving towards, which would be our waypoint. And we've also got some new assets, a lot of great new foliage assets, which we're still implementing. And then we've got some more hard surface, such as more crates, boxes, barrels that allow it to appear as if the army is taking all the pieces of the ship and taking them back to the base. So that is it for the build. And for the stand-ups, I'm going to go ahead and go first. So as I've already said, my name is Kylie Atkins. I am the art lead. And this sprint, I helped Travis, our lead designer, with making a paper map to kind of better situate the crash site with the new terrain smoothing. And I added in all the particle effects, which took a little work because I had to adjust a lot of settings. And then I did place and implement some more of our new art assets. And we're going to go ahead and go this way.
Christian AVC, junior artist. This sprint I worked on some of the assets, the box, army box particularly, and working on a new alien UI, which is not implemented yet, but working on it.
I'm Kalana Lee. I'm one of the designers, and what I've been working on was the first time user experience. So I've been going down a list on the Fatui document, seeing what we're going to be going to show in the Fatui, and then taking about what we wrote down and then making it very concise and putting it down on a PowerPoint.
Hello, my name is Travis. I'm the lead level designer for this project. For this week, I took the terrain that was smoothed out by one of our other designers, and I rearranged and placed the new assets into the crash site to make it seem more like a military perimeter around the actual crash site. And so yeah.
My name is Jimmy. I'm a programmer. This sprint, Brent and I worked on and tested the AI system and sort of the movement system of the soldiers and the detection system of what the soldiers do when they see or hear the gray.
My name is Brant. I'm a junior programmer. We had a scene loading issue or error. Basically, it would load all our assets and it wouldn't load our terrain. So I revised some scripts, implemented some code, and obviously got to work with the build.
Hi, I'm Nathan. I'm the junior designer here. What I was tasked with was smoothing it out the terrain and kind of like leveling out. And also I was tasked with furrowing the saucer as well to make it seem like it had a hard impact. And also rearranging some of the assets.
And I'm Lauren. I'm an artist. I worked on a sand texture for the build, which I wasn't able to get in this time around because I ran into some technical issues with the program. But I made a sand texture to replace the one that they currently have.
I'm Donald Shepis. I'm the team lead. I spent pretty much all of the sprint either dealing with a respiratory infection or helping everybody else troubleshoot their issues. We had some problems getting work pushed to different branches and then getting that work to merge and work together. So that was a lot of my time spent this sprint, was just helping everybody else on the team troubleshoot the issues they were running into, so that way we had a cohesive build for today. That should be everything.
Yep.
check to see if I broke it. No, I did not.
All right, for the main event, it wasn't life or death.
All right, Luda team, we're going to try something a little different. All the team members on that side, please go ahead and line up by the whiteboard. We'll take you out so everybody in the audience can see clearly. Take them out.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Regis Jerry. I'm the project lead for Looters of the Arcane. What we ended up doing here was actually starting to implement some of the stuff we've been working on for a few sprints now. We did have a major issue at the start of this sprint. We were unable to make a build, and then most of our builds were coming out a little bit wonky, so we ended up really buckling down this week to get it done. So this is the new and improved hub world. It is complete with almost everything that we're going to be actually putting in. One of the things that the programming team's working on is there is going to be a shop where they're going to be able to purchase ammo, and we're going to be making it to where the character is instantiated in with everything. So it'll actually feel a little bit more like an arcade game. From one of our art team members, Sebastian, we have the new ghost. Or a tormented spirit, that's my bad. So this tormented spirit is now in the asylum and fully functional. So when you're going around for the builds, feel free to get scared by that coming out the wall. And then from some of our new stuff, we have in feudal Japan, some of the programming's like finally in for that. That was my bad. I was in charge of getting it implemented and didn't get it in until recently. So now we actually have our hidden doors working. For right now, all you can do is shoot them to get them to open up, which makes you waste one round. So if you're sprinting and end up shooting it late, if you're getting chased by the Shinigami masks, then you're going to end up being stuck for a second. So you got to make sure that you hit it from a distance. So if you miss, you're going to have a bad day. And then this is going to be one of the mini games that the doll's going to have you do. You have to go around the map and then find the dragon's orb. That'll unlock all of the doors and raise them all up. And so, let's see if I can nail it. There we go, first try. And so once you return the orb to the dragon, then, you know, that opens up some of the play space. And then we do currently have a bug where beating a level actually causes you some mild issues. We're going to get that fixed before we push this out to the public, though. And in Greece, we have that level polished up quite a bit. There's now more trees. It actually feels like it's, you know, Greece. Whereas before, when you looked out over here, you would end up just seeing, you know, a line of trees. The white box in here in the center has been replaced, and we now have the fake arcane objects that are scattered throughout the map. And some of them, when you end up grabbing them, will end up causing effects such as having false walls appear or disappear, or it can actually even spawn in the new enemy that we have that is a little bit more refined. It's the actual legion of soldiers will spawn in, and the back line will rush you, while the front line just sticks by protecting their commander. You have to kill the commander in order to actually kill the enemy. So this right here, we don't have the arcane object locator in the top left. That's because that's fake. And these are scattered everywhere in the maze, and there are also even more false walls. And that just hurt my feelings. So yes, it is now very much a maze, and I ended up getting lost in here for about 10 minutes and probably ran into a lot of those walls. Anyways, moving on to the team. Take it away.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I am Alex Skipper, and I'm actually not on this team anymore. I will be doing a stand-up with Project Legacy. But for the time that I was on Looters of the Arcane, I was a designer with an emphasis on world building and story. I helped give some historical or mythical weight to each of the mechanics of the levels themselves, how the actual hub world works, and I even assisted in theorizing a new level that hopefully they will be implementing sometime soon.
Good morning, my name is Miguel Hernandez. I'm a programmer for Leaders of the Arcane. This sprint, I've currently worked on the inventory system that we're going to implement, hopefully by the end of next sprint. And I'm also working on a currency system, a shop for the hub world, the transferring of objects between players. What I worked on this sprint was the framework for all of that. And I have also like enemies that I'm working on, like the Pharaoh that's going to be implemented into the Egypt level. And the Arcane Object Locator is going to be an actual object that pops up that you can manipulate, pick up, throw, buy. And that's it.
Hi, I'm Ethan Page. I'm another programmer on Leaders of the Arcane. I've been closely tied with Miguel in working on a lot of the item scripts and inventory systems, trying to refactor a lot of it to be a lot simpler than it was initially coded, and to put comments in otherwise uncommented code. Along with that, I have been programming the actual items for the item script, trying to actually give them some functionality beyond a box that you now hold. I have been then again, as I said, closely working with Miguel on actually making it so you can hold said boxes. Beyond that, I've been working on some various bug fixes and assisting in player instantiation.
I'm Brandon, I'm a multiplayer programmer. It works with lots and lots of bugs.
Alright, so I'm Sebastian Acevedo. I am the artist, one of the artists in Leaders of Arcane, and right there's my project for this sprint, which is the pirate enemy for the new map we're making. And also I made the Tormented Spirit that you saw before in the build.
I'm Sarah Bauman. I'm an artist and a designer on Leaders of the Arcane. For this sprint, I worked on some art assets for the pirate level that's coming up, including some shacks and a centerpiece that is enough for 70 on one of the ships.
My name is Dylan Chapman. I'm a level designer for Leaders of the Arcane. I basically did everything for Greece, and I've been trying to get one of the programming mechanics to work.
I'm Austin Roosevelt. I'm a designer. In this sprint, I spent a lot of time just polishing up the hub world, getting a few extra assets that weren't implemented in there. And then now I am starting to work on the white box and terrain and all that fun stuff for the fire level.
Hi, my name is Ian Favreau. I'm lead artist at Leaders of the Arcane. This whole, pretty much most of the spring has been spent modeling all the assets for the Pirate Caribbean level. I've taught Sarah and Chance a lot of us the aspects that they didn't know before, so that's good. And yeah, there's nothing really stopping us.
I'm Tony Combs. I'm a designer from Leaders of the Arcade. This sprint I primarily worked on UAT testing, basically just finding bugs for the programmers to fix, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but for every bug found, that's like a couple hours saved. So just fixing a problem, you have to find it first.
Hello, I'm Nick Buckley. I'm in charge of the social media accounts. So all those posts that he was running through, I'm the one that's been putting those out, and I've been analyzing them, seeing what's working and what's not, trying to build a bigger following for the game.
So follow us on Twitter.
You're not even following me, bro.
Pretty sure my personal account is.
Not all following each other, I feel
Don't forget to talk about yourself, Jerry.
But I always talk about myself. And I am Regis Jerry. What I ended up doing for this build was trying to implement some of the Japan mechanics and last minute bug testing, and then trying to get the build looking nice and pretty for everybody. Oh man, just missed it.
Alright everyone, so we're Guardians Legacy, and what we've done this milestone has been focusing on making our core game loop work better. We've been reiterating our combat and trying to get a lot of our systems that we really needed for the core gameplay in this time. We started working with our new character model and getting that into the system, and we've been working on restructuring our combat so it actually fits every one of our needs. So we were having some problems where we couldn't really target, and we weren't really able to do everything we needed with sequencing correctly. So we had to restructure a few things there. And then what we see down in the bottom right hand corner there is one of our groundbreaking systems that really is the core gameplay of this game, which is our customizable skills and getting those implemented and working. Along with that, we started working through some more of our hub city and getting our enemy AI working appropriately, along with starting to figure out and design what our wilderness and the puzzles within that area, along with a lot of the story elements that are going to go throughout the game. So then if we get into the build, there's quite a lot actually going on. So first off, in combat, when we go through here, we have our basic attack and then our different skills, and we actually have to confirm now because this is part of our selection screen for when we have multiple enemies going through. Along with that, if we go to some of the other things that we have our node system. Our programmers worked really hard getting this even up and running, and this allows us to actually create the skills that we're working on and trying to get everything implemented with that, from critical chance to effect duration to exactly what the skill does, because we have different elemental types. This one is our physical, so it's just a complex system that we now can add on to with a lot of our elements for what each skill does. How does it interact in the overworld? How are you able to use this skill in conjunction with others? Along with that, we've started working some more on our town scene and getting a lot of our models in along with our character. And we're trying to flesh everything out so it's one cohesive environment and start planning out for where our quests and everything are going to be and where our main story elements are going to happen. Along with this, we've also been working on one of our first cell interiors, which is our tavern, and getting that fleshed out. And getting a lot of the assets through this area as well. Along with this, we've also been working on our main puzzle mechanics. So if we go back to our instant scene, we have a teleport. This is part of our ability to go through and solve puzzles. So I'm going to let the team take it away while I demo some of the stuff.
Alright, so Devin Garrett, programmer. What I worked on this sprint was I was working with Rhea to do parallel iterations on the node systems and as far as the functionality of it. So we both created a version of the node system, and then this past week we've spent it compiling the two together and getting all of the front end and back end kind of set up in anticipation of getting it implemented in combat and overworld.
My name is Michaela Farrell. I'm the art lead. While I was guiding the other artists to do what they have to do, I was doing the character for this sprint. For this week, we got it implemented thanks to Lynn's help. The rig was being very weird, but that's what I did.
I'm Austin Meadowcroft. I'm a designer. Worked on level design, paper mapping, documentation. That's about it.
I'm Rainer Pomisel. I'm a programmer. I worked on the customizable skill system with Devin, doing our parallel iterations. I designed the UI that we had there with the drag and drop and having everything show up in the text box and everything. And yeah, so that works well.
Brendan Lima, artist. I work on some of the tavern interiors, the tables, chairs, and different iterations of those, and then having them. And I've started working on some stuff outside.
Connor Bish, designer. I'm working on reworking the combat UI to be more appropriate for a single character RPG. I'm also working as the sound designer So I've been working with our composer to make sure he creates tracks that convey the player's progression.
I'm Travis Bodie, programmer. I was working with Chris to refactor combat and implement the AI decision maker that I created, and basically just working with the other programmers to compile our scripts and get everything through.
Yeah, so Chris Kuhn, programmer, we did a lot of refactoring of the combat, making all the equations work, sitting down, having hours and hours and hours of meetings with designers to make sure it's exactly what they're looking for. So there was a lot of time put into the way it works right now. Still a little bit left to go, but I think we're doing very well.
Zachary Patton, artist. This sprint I focused on focused primarily on making sure we had more varied textures for our environments. I did about 3 to 4 iterations for different things of grass, stone, etc., etc. So our world should be called quite soon. I also did pretty much all the texturing for our character model, our environments, and I worked alongside Michaela to make sure the character texturing went well, and the designers to get some world building done and see what else we can add.
Hi again, Alec. I have been on Guardians Legacy for about a week now as a world designer with an emphasis on story and world building. My first week was working with the other designers to really figure out why this character is going on a journey in the first place, and really starting to build up the intro to our story. And then once I was done, conferring with them, I went over some of the broader strokes of world design, trying to create a world that we could build a story in.
Now, one other thing, our lead designer, Peter Tibbles, couldn't be here today, but he spent a lot of our time working on making sure the level was actually built. He did most of the world building for what we have and importing our assets. So he's been a huge asset in making sure we actually have worlds to go into to be able to show off most of this stuff and highlight. And then for myself, what I've ended up doing, I've been working closely with everyone to make sure we keep the core vision of what the project is, make sure all the mechanics end up being implemented seamlessly, and making sure that we have a great game coming through. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hello everyone, my name is John Cavassi. I'm the project lead on Dawn of Dreadnoughts, and this sprint, what we really focused on was really getting our core systems functioning and building. We worked on a lot of art, we did some new UI stuff, and to talk about what they did, I'm going to send it over to my team.
Hi, my name's Downey McCorder. I'm the recent art lead for Dawn of the Dreadnoughts. This past sprint, we recently got a color guide established, so we've been going through and resynchronizing our assets so they all look modular and together. Additionally, I've been working on bug fixes, going back and patching up existing models, as well as trying to figure out the issue for pivot rotations. Overall, I've worked on a lot of the cannons and the shield generator for the Dreadnought, as well as going back and cleaning up existing assets.
I'm Michael Nicholson. I'm one artist. Previous sprints I have worked on the drum bay and the defense bay. Currently I am working on those, cleaning up some edge loops. For this sprint I was focusing mostly on the repair bay and the Titan bay, as well as the hangar bay. I'm cleaning those up, retexturing them, making them look really nice and shiny in Substance Painter, and making sure that they fit correctly on the Dreadnought and the new Dreadnought.
Hi, my name is Nick Otis. I'm one of the artists for the team. Recently, I have been working on completing a lot of the UI fixing of these with the command card assets, used primarily in Photoshop. And I got like 6 or 7 of them done, or something. Yeah, that's what I did.
Hello, my name's Ron Gall. What I worked on this sprint was getting the unit combat up and running so they can target, auto-target their enemies, deal damage, chase, whether they should find a new target if the other one's out of range, stuff like that. And yeah, so that was created and implemented.
Also key bindings.
Yeah.
You do
that
key
was
bindings
last
too.
sprint, not this one.
Here's our key bindings.
Alright, hi everybody. What's going on? My name is Majo. I worked on the AI for the ship for it to be able to move if the ship gets too close. Like, if it's under a certain amount of health, it'll be able to move away and move back once it's done healing.
Hi guys, I'm Nathan Scott. I'm the lead programmer for Dawn of the Dreadnoughts. One of our other team members, real quick, Anthony Andinello, couldn't be here today. He's getting an alternator put in his car all of a sudden. Nice surprise for him this morning. He's been working on getting some of our building and unit functionality together. We're starting to work on getting our shield generator to actually affect buildings around them and give them shields to give them some added protection. Myself, I'm working on getting unit movement on the hulls of the ships together. I'm having to create a secondary ship where we're going to have dummy versions of all the units and buildings and trying to transpose those positions over to the main ship. And I'm also uncovering even more technical debt from previous semesters that we didn't know we had, and now we have to rebuild some new stuff. So it's been a fun sprint.
Additionally, we have an online artist, Ation. He's been working on some later on to be implemented assets, such as a marine unit asset that will be added at a different time. He's been working on having it modeled and getting the rigging fixed on it.
And yeah, that's really the big things that we worked on. A lot of the stuff we did is sort of starting to work on stuff, and yeah.
Is that our last group?
Yep.
All right, you guys have been incredibly patient, hanging in there and staying engaged with every single team member, and I appreciate that. We ran over a little bit, so as we continue to practice that skill, we're going to get hopefully down to about 30 seconds. So individually, what I want you to focus on is making a list of all that you've contributed over this entire dev cycle. That's what you're going to be stating at green light. And make sure it fits within 30 seconds. That's going to be tough. All right, needs meeting at 2 o'clock, sir?
We get our camera. Our critiques.
Yes, you'll get them later. Yeah, play testing, that's part of your critique, so make sure you've got a station up and running and everybody knows where that is, so sign on it, whatever you need to do there. And ACS, you've got your room back at 12:30, so have a good lunch to start with. I don't know if all of you can come back about 1 o'clock to take play test, but they'll be available then. All right, so 1 o'clock for play testing, 2 o'clock for news meeting back in here. We'll see you. Have big games.